One of the most dangerous mistakes you can make in life is calling something love when deep down it has been destroying your peace from the beginning. Some relationships don't enter your life to complete you. They enter to test you. And one of the hardest truths to accept is this: not every person you strongly desire is sent by God. Sometimes, the strongest emotional attachments come from the greatest spiritual warnings. That is why so many people stay in relationships they constantly cry over, pray over, lose sleep over, and still convince themselves, maybe this is God's will. But God is not the author of confusion, and when heaven keeps warning you, but you keep forcing what God is trying to remove, eventually the pain becomes the teacher. There are signs God gives when someone is not meant for your future. The problem is, most people only recognize them after the damage is already done. The first sign is this: your peace keeps disappearing. Not excitement, not butterflies, peace. At first, everything may feel intense. The conversations are exciting. The attention feels good. The emotional connection feels powerful. But underneath all of it, there is a quiet disturbance you cannot fully explain. Every time you think about committing deeper, something inside you tightens. You keep asking friends for reassurance. You keep replaying conversations in your head. You keep praying the same prayer over and over, hoping the anxiety will disappear. But it never truly leaves, and what many people call fear of losing someone is actually the absence of God's peace. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of God rule in your hearts." That word rule means to act like a referee. Peace makes the final decision. When God is truly in something, even during uncertainty, there is still a quiet confidence underneath it all. But when God is not in it, there may still be attraction, chemistry and feelings, yet your spirit never fully rests. Stop confusing emotional chaos with deep love. Stop calling anxiety butterflies. Sometimes your spirit already knows what your heart is refusing to accept. The second sign is that the relationship keeps pulling you away from who you used to be. Before them, your mind felt clearer. Your relationship with God felt stronger. Your standards were higher. Your convictions were stronger. But slowly, things started changing. You began compromising little by little. You started justifying things you once knew were wrong. You stopped praying the way you used to. You became emotionally exhausted. The relationship consumed your focus. Instead of becoming more disciplined, peaceful, and spiritually alive, you became distracted, unstable, and emotionally dependent. And the dangerous part is that it happens slowly. Nobody wakes up one day planning to lose themselves. It happens through tiny compromises, repeated over time. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Bad company corrupts good character." You cannot stay deeply connected to someone without eventually becoming influenced by them. The right relationship will not pull you away from God to keep itself alive. Real love should strengthen your spirit, not slowly suffocate it. The third sign is constant confusion and emotional instability. One day everything feels perfect. The next day everything feels cold and distant. You never feel secure. You never feel emotionally safe. You are constantly trying to decode mixed signals, changing behavior, emotional distance and inconsistency. And because there are good moments mixed in with painful moments, you keep holding on to potential instead of reality. But healthy love does not constantly leave you emotionally starving. Amos 3:3 asks, "Can two walk together unless they agree?" Some people are simply not aligned with your future, no matter how strong the attraction feels. And sometimes God allows confusion to increase because He is trying to stop a unity that would eventually destroy you both. The problem is that many people mistake emotional intensity for destiny, but intensity is not always connection. Sometimes it is warning. The fourth sign is that every door keeps closing no matter how hard you force it open. Plans constantly collapse. Commitment keeps getting delayed. Every time things move towards something serious, another problem appears. Families resist. Trust breaks. Red flags multiply. You keep trying to fight for the relationship, but deep down it feels like you are fighting against reality itself. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Sometimes God protects you by refusing to let certain relationships fully work. And one of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not every closed door is spiritual attack. Some closed doors are mercy. Some relationships survive only because one person keeps dragging them forward, while heaven keeps warning them to stop. Faith is trusting God's direction, not forcing your own desires onto him. When God keeps removing peace, increasing confusion, and closing doors, maybe the answer is not fight harder. Maybe the answer is let go. The fifth sign is that you feel lonely even while you are together. This is one of the deepest kinds of pain because relationships are supposed to bring connection, comfort, and support. Yet somehow, you feel emotionally abandoned while sitting beside the person you love. You try to explain your feelings, but they dismiss them. You crave deeper connection, but conversations stay shallow. You feel unseen, unheard, emotionally starving. Ecclesiastes says two are better than one because they lift each other up. But what happens when the relationship keeps draining you instead? What happens when you feel more emotionally stable alone than with the person who claims to love you? Sometimes God allows that loneliness to become unbearable because he is showing you that this relationship cannot carry the future you keep imagining with it. The right person will not leave you constantly begging for basic emotional presence. The sixth sign is that wise people around you keep warning you, but you keep defending the relationship anyway. Your family sees things you ignore. Your close friends notice patterns you excuse. Spiritually mature people feel uncomfortable about the relationship, even when you keep insisting everything is fine. But because you are emotionally attached, you interpret correction as opposition. Proverbs says there is safety in wise counsel. God often speaks through people who genuinely care about your future. That does not mean every opinion matters. But when multiple trustworthy voices keep warning you about the same issues, and your spirit keeps feeling disturbed too, ignoring those warnings becomes dangerous. Sometimes, people are so afraid of losing a relationship that they would rather lose their peace, identity, and spiritual stability instead. The seventh sign is the most dangerous one of all. God already told you no, but you keep trying to negotiate with him. Deep down, you already know. There was a moment you felt it clearly. Maybe during prayer. Maybe after another painful argument. Maybe after discovering another red flag. Something inside you knew this relationship was not meant for your future. But loneliness has a powerful voice. Attachment has a powerful voice. Memories have a powerful voice. So instead of surrendering, you start asking God the same question again and again, hoping eventually heaven will approve what your emotions refuse to release. But Numbers 23:19 says, God is not a man that he should lie. If God keeps warning you, it is not because he wants to hurt you. It is because he can already see the pain ahead. His no is not rejection, it is protection. And this is what many people fail to understand. The wrong relationship rarely looks dangerous in the beginning. That is why people stay. Samson did not meet Delilah and immediately lose his strength. It happened slowly. Solomon did not lose wisdom overnight. It happened compromise by compromise. Most destructive relationships begin beautifully. That is why discernment matters more than feelings, because feelings can blind you. Loneliness can blind you. Attraction can blind you. But God sees the full story from beginning to end. Sometimes the greatest act of love God gives you is separation, not because he is punishing you, but because he is protecting the version of you that still has purpose, peace, and destiny ahead. And one day, the relationship you cried over losing may become the relationship you thank God for removing. Right now it may feel painful. Right now it may feel confusing. But eventually you will understand that God was not taking something good away from you. He was stopping something harmful from becoming permanent, because it is always better to walk away wounded for a season than stay somewhere that slowly destroys your soul for years. And if God keeps removing your peace, closing doors, exposing patterns, and warning your spirit, stop asking heaven for another sign while ignoring the ones already given. Sometimes the answer you are praying for is the pain you keep trying to explain away. If this message spoke to your heart, take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more faith-filled lessons that help you see life with deeper wisdom. And remember, sometimes the doors God closes are the very things protecting your peace, your purpose, and your future. Trust His direction. God bless you.